In internal, you can create custom SQL functions, in addition to the functions that are automatically generated to list, insert, update, or delete data when you connect a SQL database. Let's take a look at using a select function to read data using a SQL query. Let's pull up our app data, and let's go to our Postgres database that we connected and create a new function. In this case, let's call it select scooters by status. And the action type that we're going to select here is going to be select. And then once we do that, we can simply input the SQL query that we want to use. And note that we're adding a SQL parameter here, which is called parameter 1 currently. This syntax is dependent on the database. Since we're using Postgres, it's with a $sign and then a number that increases. And we can change this parameter by going over here, and let's just call it status. And let's take a quick look at inputs. We can change its type here, but actually status, we'll leave it as plain text. And let's take a look at outputs. Since this is a SQL function, they're automatically generated by our query, so we don't need to do anything here. Let's try and preview our function. So let's set the status here to active and go run it. Alright, it looks good. So since it's working, let's go ahead and save our function now. Now let's add a table. And let's choose Postgres and then the function we've just created. And you'll note here that there is a required parameter there that we're going to need to set, which is the status. So let's go ahead and add a quick dropdown component. And what this will do will allow us to select the status. So the various values for statuses that are in our data are active, and the other one is charging. So once we've got our dropdown set, what we can do is we can bind this status parameter to that dropdown. So let's use a value from a component. Let's bind it to our dropdown's value here. And now let's go ahead and save and publish. And so now let's use our dropdown, and if we select active, you'll see all of the scooters with the active status being displayed in this table. And then when we select charging, you'll see all of the scooters that are charging. And so that's how you can use a SQL select function to read data in internal.